Every word that lady shared with you holds truth. I'm asking you to let that sink in before I continue. All of it is real. I can confirm this because I discovered each of those same truths through the hardest education life offers. My age is 103 years. The year of my birth was 1922. I came into this world in a Kentucky coal mining settlement that has since vanished from maps, consumed and left behind like so many mining communities were. Throughout my existence, I've inhabited the roles of child and spouse and parent and someone who lost her partner, an elder relative and ancestor to young ones. Poverty touched my life in depths that would transform your hardest moment into something resembling leisure. 2 of my own children rest in graves I visit. One marriage ended with a man I despised. Another with someone so cherished that conversations with his memory still happen when I'm certain no one can overhear. My eyes have witnessed events capable of shattering most souls, yet here I remain, positioned in my daughter's home, observing Margaret's recording and affirming every point. Her words carry weight. Complete accuracy runs through everything she expressed, though something needs clarification. That lady experienced goodness in her years. Her own testimony confirms it. Material wealth eluded her, yet joy filled her days. A remarkable mother raised her. Nearly 6 decades passed with one partner in what she describes as solid companionship. Her children survived to adulthood. Fresh powder covered her path home, while complimentary cinema visits created memories she treasures most. These elements compose a fortunate existence. My journey took different turns, yet identical wisdom emerged, proving these aren't merely pleasant thoughts from some blessed elder who reached 105. These represent fundamental realities governing existence itself. Dismissing them guarantees future sorrow, not from any lecture I'm delivering, but because remorse arrives naturally when you survive long enough to recognize what slipped through your fingers. Allow me to address destiny. Margaret references an ancient text, Hebrew teaching suggesting your entire existence gets recorded before your first breath, determining your lifespan and circumstances. She claims personal agency doesn't factor in. My beliefs align with hers, though my interpretation differs. Certain occurrences lie beyond anyone's influence. Vehicles veer onto sidewalks. Underground passages give way. Disease finds your child before medical science catches up. Conflict claims your boy and returns only fabric and ceremony. These events transcend individual control. Her assessment stands correct. Wrong coordinates at the wrong moment can conclude everything. Yet here's what remained unspoken. Perhaps her experience didn't demand she learn it the way mine insisted. Your response following tragedy belongs entirely to you. My first marriage began when I'd lived only 16 years. That man's identity stays buried. His name hasn't crossed my lips in more than 70 years. What I'll share is 8 years spent drowning in constant dread. Terror accompanied his arrivals, his absences, his silence, his rage. 2 infants entered the world under that roof, and daily anxiety gripped me that harm would reach them through him. Then one evening in 1946, a tavern became his destination without return. Another woman's husband drove steel into him during gambling disputes. Thus my initial chapter closed. 24 years had passed since my birth. 2 small ones depended on me. Funds were non-existent. Relatives couldn't offer assistance. And I believe my story had reached its final page. That precise instant held everything. The choice presented itself, except that destiny had sealed my fate with nothing left but endurance until death arrived. That path went unchosen. Instead, I determined that while fate might author the pages, interpretation remained mine to control. Those children came with me to employment washing accommodations at a roadside inn near Lexington. Every possible coin found hiding places in my possession. Walter entered my world at a congregation meal 3 years forward. Trust didn't come easily, considering my history with men and their capacity for harm. But Walter demonstrated patience. Walter gave me time. Walter proved through behavior rather than promises that he bore no resemblance to his predecessor. Our union formed in 1949, marking the dawn of genuine living. 5 decades beside that individual, 3 additional children, property that seemed modest but belonged to us completely, peaceful dawns, and labor and tranquility I couldn't have imagined existing until nearly 3 decades of life had accumulated. Perhaps you're thinking luck intervened. Escaping cruelty and discovering kindness seems fortunate. Except chance didn't extract me from that first union. A blade in a drinking establishment accomplished that extraction. How I utilized liberation afterward, decisions I executed, effort I invested, choosing vulnerability again despite every instinct screaming opposition. None of that stemmed from fortune. That came from refusing to accept my narrative had concluded. This understanding matters crucially. Your narrative continues as well. The pen remains in your grasp. Margaret speaks truth regarding lifespan being beyond control. I've observed individuals younger and stronger succumb to unexpected ends. Witness people following every guideline develop illness regardless. Watch those who consumed tobacco and alcohol and avoided physical activity celebrate 95 birthdays. No equation exists. No hidden knowledge guarantees outcomes. Though her observation about humanity's influence also rings true, she stated that clearly. Human beings improve conditions or damage them. Everything rests with people, including yourself. Right now, this moment, your character gets determined by you. During this video, instead of alternative activities, what version of yourself emerges when viewing concludes? Will contact be made with someone requiring your voice? Will admission of fault happen regarding something pride has blocked? Will affection be expressed to someone before opportunity vanishes? Because that window closes eventually. This I guarantee. I've counted more final moments than memory can preserve. Let me describe my daughter. Elizabeth Rose was her given name, arriving in 1941. That first infant represented everything miraculous, earning that title because illumination entered a shadowed dwelling through her presence alone. Golden hair and azure eyes and amusement found everywhere. Darkness surrounded us, yet laughter emerged from her constantly. Those years when survival seemed questionable, she anchored my will to continue. 1952 brought sickness, the paralytic disease. 11 years she'd lived. The physician's visit to our home stays vivid. His expression communicated everything. Understanding preceded his words about what awaited us. 3 weeks followed. strength diminishing daily, her attempts at smiling through pain, fragments of her slipping away steadily. One morning I entered her space, and breath had ceased. 30 years had shaped me. Survival of numerous trials already marked my past. Standing in that space with my girl no longer drawing air, that instant brought me nearest to total surrender. What rescued me demands telling. Walter attempted no repairs. Making things better wasn't his approach. None of that empty reasoning about divine plans or superior destinations or meaningless phrases people offer when genuine words fail them. Weeks turned to months with him simply remaining, present while tears flowed, holding my hand through rage directed at heaven, ensuring nourishment entered my body despite resistance, managing the other young ones when capability escaped me. No demands for recovery, just presence maintained. Love reveals itself there. That lady, Margaret, claimed love defies definition. Respect became her alternative explanation. Her reasoning makes sense. Respect allows clearer articulation. 2 marriages taught me love's precise meaning, though. Love equals remaining. Love means presence. When action proves impossible, yet staying happens anyway. Love refuses abandonment during ugliness. Love doesn't quit on people at their lowest points. My first husband never loved me. Possession was his desire. Distinction matters. Some viewers grasp this immediately. Some currently share space with someone seeking ownership rather than partnership. Self-deception whispers that severity seems manageable, improvement approaches, harder effort brings correction. Correction won't happen. 8 years I spent attempting to repair someone rejecting repair. Death nearly claimed me in the process. Liberation arrived only because another man's violence preceded his violence toward me. Anyone trapped similarly must escape. Whatever requirements exist, whatever fear exists, whatever destination uncertainty exists, leave. Remaining guarantees destruction, and destruction isn't your destiny. Margaret discussed marriage endurance, avoiding premature surrender, allowing chances. Complete accuracy there. Her reference addresses marriages between willing participants, though, both parties investing effort. Both parties experiencing conflict but reconciling. Both parties creating distance in anger, then waking to renewed attempts. That differs entirely from enduring someone inflicting harm. That differs from tolerating cruelty. Recognition of difference is essential. Uncertainty about distinction requires consultation with experienced voices. Seek those who've traveled that road. Truth will be offered. Let me tell you about my son. Thomas Walter Bennett carried his father's name. We called him Tommy. 1951 brought his birth, 1 year before Elizabeth Rose's illness. His childhood witnessed maternal grief for a sibling barely in his memory. That farm shaped his growth, assisting his father, mastering repair and construction and cultivation. 1969 arrived with his 18th birthday and military enrollment. Southeast Asian conflict. My pleas against departure were desperate. Alternative service paths existed, I argued. One child's loss already occurred. Another would end me. His gaze met mine with these words, "Mama, obligation calls me. Those boys need support. This farm can't hold me while they perish." 4 months later, death found him during an attack near Da Nang. Correspondents arrived with folded cloth and a container holding possessions, his timepiece, his billfold, a family photograph kept close. 47 years had passed since my beginning. 2 children now rested beneath earth. How did survival happen? Honest ignorance prevails, truly unknown. Days arrived when survival seemed undesirable. Nights contained prayers for reunion through my own passing. Moments considered self-determined endings. 3 remaining children needed their mother, though. Walter required my presence. Somewhere beneath overwhelming sorrow, a voice insisted, "Your purpose remains incomplete." That voice sustained me through 103 years. That same voice exists within you. Certainty fills me. Even if current perception blocks it, existence continues there, delivering truth. Incompletion defines your state. Your story lacks conclusion. Time allows meaning to be created still. Margaret spoke something striking me powerfully. She said, "Youth permits transformation. Aging eliminates that capacity." My disagreement on that point is firm. 24 brought transformation when my first husband perished. 30 brought change when my daughter received burial. 47 reshaped me when my son was laid to rest. 76 transformed me when Walter departed. Each instance when age seemed to prevent change, existence forced evolution regardless. Age never blocks transformation, though stubbornness might, fear might, comfort within suffering might prevent imagination of alternatives. That becomes lethal, not accumulated years. Resistance, terror, misery's false security. Watching this at 25 or 30 or 40, believing abundant time exists for resolution, let me correct that assumption. Abundance doesn't describe your remaining time. Possibilities include extensive duration, 90 days, or until tomorrow's afternoon hours. Knowledge escapes you. Universal ignorance prevails. Exactly the point. Margaret correctly states life may be predetermined, while also correctly noting reading ahead proves impossible. Only the current page receives your attention, demanding significance. Create that significance. Contact your mother. Contact your father. Reach whoever provided care, whoever extended love during your unworthiness, whoever maintained presence when others departed. Make contact expressing gratitude. Express your affection. Execute this today. Act immediately upon finishing this viewing, because eventually that call becomes impossible. Eventually, reaching for the phone triggers remembrance of their absence. Reflection will turn toward all the intended calls never completed. Prevent that outcome. My years number 103. Regrets outnumber my counting ability. The regrets causing deepest pain aren't actions taken. They represent omissions, unspoken expressions, unmade connections, time squandered in anger or fear or stubbornness when presence was possible. Time remains available. Utilize it. That lady, Margaret, instructed treating others as you desire treatment yourself. She observed kindness requires minimal effort. Truth resonates there. Simple execution, yet most avoid it. Join those who practice it. Choose kindness without obligation. Exercise patience through difficulty. Treat struggling individuals gently because their burdens remain invisible. Others' experiences stay hidden from you. Whose child recently died stays unknown. whose partnership crumbles stays unknown, who approaches complete surrender after one additional hardship stays unknown. Gentle words cost nothing yet might preserve someone's existence. Economic collapse and global warfare and paralytic outbreaks in Vietnam and financial downturns and widespread illness and countless memorial services have filled my timeline. Humanity's worst capacities have revealed themselves to me. Humanity's best has also emerged, and I'm declaring the best deserves fighting for. Your existence deserves that fight. Refuse surrender. Reject settling. Don't accept an existence generating misery simply because transformation appears overwhelming. That lady Margaret reached 105. My count stands at 103. Survival continues for us both. Identical messages come from both voices. Lateness hasn't arrived yet. Whatever action calls you, whatever transformation awaits, whatever words need reaching someone before chances expire, execute it immediately.